Hi guys, Scuffy Special here, back with another video, and in today's video I'll be reacting to a 1-0 defeat to Burnley after 5 days ago beating the champions Manchester City at Etihad, but we can't beat Burnley who were second from bottom of the table before coming into this. Ridiculous, I know. So today we'll be talking about, tonight we'll be talking about the problem with the club, reading out the notes that I ripped while I listened to it on TalkSport, reacting to fans' comments on social media and reviewing them, as I said, discussing the problem of the club and where that leaves us in terms of our fight for European places, and also your opinion, because I always encourage you to get involved. I hope you're well. Let's crack straight into today's video. Where do I start? I usually come on air on a positive and say, look, we lost, but if you look ahead, we've got this game, season's not over yet, but I'm fed up of making excuses with this team. I know that something has to change at this football club, and we're going to be talking about that later, but it's ridiculous. We lack so much creativity. It's so poor. And I know it was always going to be a tough night, a very windy, wet, stormy night in Lancaster and Burnley on a Wednesday night. Turf Moor, Burnley playing their scrappy game. It was a real test for us. It's a totally different game to Manchester City. City, we've done really well, the champions, and beat them. It was always going to be tough, but it was a real test of how far we've come, and we failed that test miserably. Ended up losing. I thought we'd win, but I thought we'd really struggle. It's always going to be tough at Turf Moor, but we've got to do better than that. It's ridiculous. I'm fed up of making excuses, and I don't know where to start, but something has to change at the football club. We lack extreme creativity. We've not got good enough players. We've got Levy needs to sell and go, Inic out. I feel sorry for Conte, as I said. I think he's a good manager, but even he can't put things together now. He's struggling. So before I go into the notes I wrote during the game, we're going to be looking at some Spurs fans' comments, which I don't usually do, but it's interesting. Here goes one of them. The worst thing about today, it's not even a surprise. Every Spurs fan knew that we weren't winning today. We are, always will be a joke until performances like that stop. Well, I know, it is ridiculous. You can never work out football. Spurs beat Manchester City and then lose at Burnley. Ridiculous. Yeah. To do the double over Man City but lose to Wolves, Southampton and Burnley is peak Spurs. What was it like to be a Tottenham supporter? See the last 5 days. Unless we go on a running run against Leeds, then our season comes up to the FA Cup and a huge game at Borough next week up the Spurs. It's a positive comment. Football can't cure depression if you are Tottenham fans. Agree. This is an interesting one. I like this, by the way. Pochettino was the last Spurs manager in 2019, the last time Spurs lost to Burnley in the league. Mourinho 3 wins and 1 draw. Nuno 1 win, but remember they lost today because the players are not good enough, and they beat Manchester City because the manager is a great tactician. Fair enough. At Spurs official fans can't be happy after a 1-0 defeat to at Burnley official. Burnley's 3rd win of the season. When it comes to against us, it's ridiculous. Spurs now lost as many Premier League games as Burnley this season and let in 3 more goals. It's ridiculous. Complete different end of the table as well. Full-time, Burnley 1, Spurs 0. Tottenham get their charge for 8th back on track after a recent mishap against Man City. Yeah, as I said, top 10, huge success it looks like for us at the moment. It's ridiculous. That's just some of the Spurs comments. Go and view more on social media. Before we move on, we have got Leeds Saturday at the weekend. We're on a really bad run. Lots of problems with Leeds at the moment after starting really well. People are questioning Marcelo Bielsa's plan. They lost 6-0 at Anfield again today. Marcelo Bielsa may even be gone by the weekend, or we might get it together. But we'll make them look like Barcelona at the weekend, and they will put us to bed and beat us. As I said, if we finish in the top 10, then well done. Inic out, players out, changes at the football club need to come, and we will get onto that. I'm keen to get into that. I'm going to read you some notes that I ripped during the game, and you can let me know what you thought, my opinion, in the comments below, and write your opinion, like I want you to do later on as well. So I put notes first half. I had a quick start in the first 2 minutes. That was literally just one chance. We invited pressure on us by silly passes out from the back. Burnley settled into the game very well. Weather conditions were really bad and helped Burnley style of play, the scrappy play. Needed to control the game early on to settle the nerves and control the game. We didn't do that. All Burnley first 25 minutes. Very slow start. Burnley had 3 shots and 1 on target in the first 20 minutes, and we're talking the team is second from bottom before today in the Premier League. Spurs fans very good, especially in the first half. Romero pushing high, getting forward, overlapping centre back, taking it in turns with Ben Davis. Burnley moving it nicely to feet. Once in our half, very little creativity. Didn't test Nick Pope at all in the first half. No rhythm. Needed to test Pope a lot more. Second best in the first half. Second half comments. Substitution at half time, 45 minutes, Winks for Bentancur. Bentancur fell awkwardly in the first half, so subbed off at half time. Great early start, same as the first half, with an early chance. Win faster and stronger in second half, again helps Burnley. Kane hit the crossbar, only really chance in the game. No creativity once again in the final third. Lucas on for Emerson, 65 minutes. Attacking change had to be made, and change of formation as lacked creativity. 2 huge chances between 60 and 65 minutes. Couldn't take them. Burnley 1, Spurs 0, 74 minutes. Ben Mee from a header. Ryan Sessegnon gave away foul, which led to their goal. Failed tough test in Lancashire. Stephen Bergwijn on for Ryan Sessegnon. 4-4-1-1 formation, 81 minutes. Played with no confidence after amazing win against the champions Manchester City at the Etihad. Burnley better team and deserved to win and get all 3 points. Needed to control game better after going 1-0 down. Urgent changes needed at the club. That's my opinion. Let me know your thoughts of the game in the comments below. Match stats are on the screen now, and I'm going to go through them. Burnley had 15 shots, only to our 12. They had 4 on target, we only had 2, and we're talking a team that was second from bottom in the Premier League, who would love to stay in the Premier League once again in Shoreditch. And we're talking that we were, before today, compete for the top 4. It's unacceptable. It's just ridiculous. Possession there, 34%, 66% of the ball. I didn't even realise we touched the ball, to be honest, because we've done absolutely nothing with it. So wasted time having the ball. Bar passes, Burnley had 327, we had 636, so we nearly doubled that. But again, useless passing. So what's the point? 8 fouls each, no yellow cards, which is surprising. When Burnley, I think, physical side, and no red cards, obviously. 3 offsides for Burnley, 2 offside for us, and we had 7 corners. Again, done absolutely nothing with it, and Burnley had 3, and were good at their set pieces. That really summed up our evening. And as I say, it's tough being a Spurs fan, but it gets to one point where it's ridiculous and changes are needed at the club. Finally, we're going to talk changes that need to happen at the club. Before I let you know my opinion, let me know what you think changes needed at the club. If you're talking now, if you're talking summer, long term, short term, I think changes need to be made. It's just a matter of what changes will be made. I think some kind of change needs to happen at the club. I'm sick and tired of making excuses for us. It's unacceptable. It's not fair for our Spurs fans, who are amazing and give loyal and incredible support. Get a good manager in. Got a few decent players, but again, we've been let down. I don't think the players are good enough, and I think the ownership of the club is shocking. Levy and Enoch are very good business-wise, but awful when it comes to football. They don't understand it. They're toddlers when it comes to football. I'm going to read, before we go into my opinion, actually, I'm going to add something in, from Spurs official Axe. It's just been released seconds ago. Here we go. Burnley edge it in rain at Turf Moor. A wet and windy night at Turf Moor ended in defeat on Wednesday, as a second half goal from Ben Mee gave Burnley all 3 points in the Premier League. In stormy conditions in Lancashire, a poor first half yielded just 1 shot on goal, coming from the host. Shocking. Although it was far more entertaining after the break, with both sides having chances. Harry Kane headed against the bar. Jay Rodriguez forced Hugo Lloris into a smart save with a close range header, and Dejan Kulusevski curled a shot just wide for the Clarets broke the deadlock in the 71st minute when Mee headed home. Josh Brownhill free kick, and I'd like to point out, yes, we were a bit better in the second half. We actually passed and moved the ball, but Burnley were better than us, and we've done nothing with it. I was listening to the whole game. It was shocking. It's the worst performance I've ever. It's just ridiculous. We pushed for the equaliser in the closing stages, but didn't really test home goalkeeper Nick Pope. We just didn't at all. We had literally no chances. Instead, it was the home side who came closer to scoring again. Rodriguez putting an effort over the bar from 6 yards out. That's it. Short. Oh, a bit more. Goals Burnley, 71 me. Referee Graham Scott. Venue Turf Moor. Weather light rain, fresh breeze, 8 degrees. That's it. And now we can get into it last but not least. Some changes to happen at the club. I like Conte, and I think has been for a while. Even when he was at Chelsea, secretly he was my favourite manager. I've always admired him. Wherever he's been, I've followed him, and I think he's a good manager. But I've got to admit, his style of football doesn't suit the club. So this is our problem at the club. Conte's style doesn't suit the club. We've got players who are good enough for the club. Some have been recent signings, and some are still deadwood that we haven't moved on. We've moved on most deadwood, but there's still a little bit in there. Happy to name people later on. And you've got Levy and Enoch. I admire business-wise. You're never going to go bust under them. I really admire Levy and Enoch's business side. When it comes to football, they're a bunch of class clowns, really. They're a bunch of fools, bunch of gnomes that don't really know anything. Always getting the football decisions wrong. And if you want to argue with me, let me know in the comments below, because as I said, I'm interested to know your opinion. But I think, first of all, he sacked Pochettino. I don't know why he done it. He sacked Martin Yo, I'm talking a long time ago now, half time. That's cruel. Hired Mourinho. Yes, he was a winner, but his style's never going to work, and he's so arrogant. He's never going to get on with Levy. Don't like Mourinho. I think he needed to be sacked, but I wouldn't have sacked him before a cup final. His one job was to win the trophy. Hired Nuno. What is he doing? And he's not going to back Conte, and he either sack Conte or let him down. As I said, I do feel sorry for Conte. We've got players who aren't good enough for the club. I think we've got a few good players, Lloris, Moura, Son, Kane, Højbjerg, Romero. Anyone else? Dyer. Those 7, the only ones that I think at the moment that are good enough to wear a Spurs shirt, and Lloris has let us down recently, but I'm talking generally. Likes of Emerson Royale, not very good. Sessegnon needs massive improving. Sanchez obviously was left out, not good recently. Ben Scott, new signing, not sure. Kudskevi didn't work tonight, did it? So I think the signings haven't been good enough. I like to Doherty, Emerson, Galini, stuff like that. The signings haven't been good enough, and we failed to sign so many players under Levy's little reign, if you like, in charge of the club. His little, spell since the 2000s. He failed to sign so many players. Bruno Fernandes, Jack Grealish, Willian, Hazard. I could go on and on and on. There's so many players. Maddison. There's so many players. It gets so tiring. How many players that we could have signed have gone on to do so well in their career, we failed to sign. Targets for the season, top 10 finish. I'm being serious. I think you've got Aston Villa, who are doing very well and will catching us up, and I think Everton may catch us up as well. We've got Leeds United next. We'll make them look like Barcelona, and we've got Frank Lampard's Everton, who will just carve us apart, which would be embarrassing. Middlesbrough in the cup, probably lose that as well. I'm starting to give up hope, and looks like Conte's peak of the reign is gone, but I don't believe his reign starts till next season. See, if I was in charge of the football club, and also as a very loyal fan, and been a season ticket holder for 3 or 4 seasons, and now one Hotspur member, I'm going to be a season ticket holder next season. I'm a loyal Spurs fan. I'm old enough now as a teenager. In my opinion, I would Conte. I'd back him in the summer, and I'd keep him a long while. I'd never chuck Conte at the door, because the problem at the club is the leadership and players that we signed that haven't been good enough. Team's not good enough. It's not top 4 standard. I look at our team, and you've got the likes of Kane and Son, maybe even like Lucas, Højbjerg, Lloris maybe as well, and as I said, Dyer as well, who are top 4 standard players, and the rest are mid-table, fighting the Premier League standard. It's ridiculous. It's really frustrating. Can't find the right formation or tactics at the club. Back to the drawing board and we go again. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. It's not all negative. We're still in the cup, still could win the FA Cup and perhaps get Europa League or Conference League again. It's not what I expected, but we keep believing, we keep going, and today is to do. Thank you guys, and as always, come on you Spurs.